Hi, everybody. It's Karen from Divorce Workshop. We're back for another Divorce Workshop Talks. Today we have Amy Capello, and we're going to talk about split boxes. I also wanted you guys to know that hands-on workbook for your separation and divorce. So if you want more information, just DM us or email me at Karen@divorceworkshop.com. Just waiting for Amy to get on to have a great talk about her new boxes for breakups. Sometimes with lives, we have a hard time connecting. Just give us a minute. Hi, Amy, having a hard time getting on? Let's try this again. Oh, okay. She's going to join on with her other account. There we go.
All right.
Hi. Sorry about that. I was sending to your other
Yeah,
split boxes,
no,
and then
totally fine.
and I'm like, there's a lot of dead air space going on here, but anyways, such as this is what it's like when it's live, right? So
Right?
anyways, so I'm very thrilled to have you on. As I was saying
Yeah.
before, I'm Karen from Divorce Workshop, and I do Divorce Workshop Talks. And I'm very excited to have Amy here today, who's an award-winning life coach. And you came up with this really good idea about this split boxes. So first of all, give us an introduction about who you are, and then we'll go from there.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm Amy Capello and I own Pure Joy Life Coaching, founded that company about 5 years ago. And this year I founded a new company to go along in conjunction called Split Happens. And yeah, so I'm excited to talk about what that is today and talk about the fun with that. But yeah, thank you so much for having me on today. I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
it was a pleasure. So this I contacted you because I thought, this is such a really unique and different and kind of needed thing, right? Because when we go through a breakup of any sorts, it doesn't have to just always be divorce. It could be cohabitation. It could be just a bad breakup, right? For all various reasons. Support is essential. And what you're doing here is quite unique. So what gave you the idea that, like me in my field is grief and a divorce coach, I know how much support is needed, right? So what did you think? Like, how did you come up with this idea?
Yeah. So I got divorced back in 2015. So I had been married for about 8.5 years at the point that I got divorced, and then was a single mom for about 5 years, 4.5 years. And I know what it's like. I know what it's like to go through that process. And people don't really know sometimes exactly what to say, or maybe they say the wrong thing because they're just like grasping for straws and maybe they haven't lived through it on their own, or maybe even if they did, their situation was very different than
Mm-hmm.
what you went through, right? So their perspectives, even knowing what maybe divorce or, obviously a breakup feels like, it's a different experience. And it was so funny because I had several friends that were going through either a breakup or a divorce all at the same time.
Mm,
And I was like, okay, what can I do for them on my limited time, limited resources? And one of them lived like a plane
Mm-hmm.
ride away from me. And I'm like, I can't go take her out to brunch. Like, what do
Mm-hmm.
I do? And so I got online to try and find a gift, and there was nothing. I mean, it really, like, nothing existed. And I spent the better part of a day when I was having breaks or time just trying to find something that landed. And there were a couple little things like a silly candle or something, but there was nothing that really just had a little bit of like, I'm here for you and I want you to know that I love you.
Mm-hmm.
If I had sent anything that was out there, it was like just a generic, candle or something, right? And but also I felt like I wanted to make them maybe laugh a little bit or find some, lightheartedness in the process as well. And just nothing was out there. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm gonna make something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'll make it happen, right?
Yeah, but you're right though. When you think about it, there's still a lot of stigma around divorce and breakup, right? So that's probably why there's not a lot of gifts or
Right.
things like that. Like there's divorce journals
Mhm.
or, as you said,
Mhm.
a candle, but there's nothing that, as you were saying, that gives that type of warmth and I've got you and you're not doing this alone. And your good point to what you said is like, if you live far away, you can't go for coffee and give them a hug or anything, right? So do you want to talk about the formation of the box, like what you thought should be in this box?
Yeah, absolutely. So I took a little bit of my own selfish perspective. What was I feeling? What did I want? What did I need? Also, what were the moments and the stages of what I went through,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, what did I feel? What did I experience? What did I hope that people would say or do for me? But then I also just very discreetly, no one knew that I was creating this behind the scenes, put it out on my social media, on my Facebook, and I was like, okay, if you were going through a breakup and someone could buy you something, what would you want? What was really interesting, though, I have to say,
Mm-hmm.
is so many people responded, but responded again with these things that were in person. Well, I would want them to buy me a cup of coffee. I would want them to buy me a massage. And so I had to actually go back and say, if you could package it up and have it mailed to you, what would you
Mm-hmm.
want going through a breakup? And still, it was a gift card to go get coffee or a gift card for a massage. So it was really interesting just thinking about how can I translate these
Mm-hmm.
responses into products that you could just put in a box that you could mail to somebody, and what would that look like, right?
Mm-hmm. That was good research on your part, right? Though, like to kind of feel the market out of what do they want, right? So what is included? I took a look at the box. It's actually wonderful. It's got so much really nice and neat and comforting stuff. So tell us what's actually like what's in the
In the
box.
box.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I created it so that even when you see the box itself
Mm-hmm.
is meant to support and connect, right? So like the split happens, right? Like the moment it arrives on your doorstep, like you're normal, you're not the first person, like
Mm-hmm.
split happens.
Yeah, I love that title because it's so true. Like most of us, even if it's not a divorce, most of us have had gone through a breakup of some sort, right? So I think everyone can, you know, feel that
Relate.
as well, right? Relate to that. Yeah, that's the right word.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the front flap of it says, sent from someone who actually cares about
Mm,
you, right? So like again, just we're gonna connect right here.
yeah.
So there's a blanket in there that's a good high quality, just really soft, fluffy blanket.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's a journal, and there's a pen, and they all have been customized, right? So it's not a generic thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's things that are written on there that are meant to be
Mm-hmm.
supportive. And those are kind of the comfort items in there. There's a tumbler, like a stainless
Mm-hmm.
steel tumbler, and it's really cute because I had it created with the logo, but also it says plot twist, I am the main character.
That's good.
Just
Love
as like
that.
centering back on ourselves, right?
Yeah.
So it can be, your coffee or your wine
Mm-hmm.
or water, whatever you want to put in
Mm-hmm.
there, whatever that you want that to look like, it can be, for you. And then there's a keychain that just reminds you that you are a badass.
Mm-hmm.
Like you are powerful and you can get through this. And so that can even just be taken with you throughout the day as a reminder. Like maybe you're at home under the blanket and writing in your journal and like processing, feeling that comfort. But the keychain can go with you all day long and
Mm-hmm.
remind you of the
Right.
badass that you,
Yeah, you can
right?
hold on to it. You can dangle it from your car.
Right.
You know, it can be on your counter. You can take a look at it. Yeah, I like that.
Exactly. Like whatever it is that can be that reminder that travels with you. And then I also wanted things that were just funny, you know? So I decided to put in there a revenge voodoo doll, which is just so funny. All the people that have gotten this or left reviews or reached out to me are like, the voodoo doll is my favorite thing. Like it's,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and it
Yeah.
comes with pins, so you
Oh,
can
does it
add.
come with pins? Oh,
It
that's so
does.
funny.
There
Mm-hmm.
is a disclaimer in the box about being careful. But it says like halitosis and canker sores and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
all
Mm-hmm.
revenge things on there, right? And then I did notice in the responses that I got when I put it out on social that it was all women who responded.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. Yes, and it was really interesting too because one of my friends, she asked, she's a lesbian, she said, "Is this for men or for women?" And she was the only person to ask this question, right? And so I really thought about like, would a very stereotypical, we're gonna go like deep into stereotypes here, but a stereotypical heterosexual male go buy a box for a friend of his going through a breakup? No,
Mm,
he's not like my husband would never buy a box for a friend going through a breakup, right? So I thought, what else funny thing could I put in here that definitely is like for the ladies and the gay guys? So I was like, all right, I know breakups are
mm-hmm.
stressful. So what would we want for stress? Like maybe like a stress, squish toy or something. And I was like, oh my God, eggplant squish toy. Done. So the
Yeah.
eggplant squish toy is in there. I do have to say though, I have been flagged by Amazon
Oh, have
on
you?
my listing probably a half dozen times at this point because it keeps the algorithm keeps thinking that it's a particular type of toy that it is not.
Oh, okay. Disclaimer.
Disclaimer: it is not that kind of toy.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a stress squishy toy, right? So but even along with this, so when you open up the box and you have all these things in here to help support through a breakup, on the inside flap of the box, I give you a breakdown of everything that you
Mm-hmm.
find. But my hope too is that if you want, you can use this box to pack up all of your memories. You can use the box to pack up all of your things,
Mm-hmm.
all of their things that you were holding on to, right? And then you can have a release ceremony. Maybe you burn it, maybe you throw it in the dumpster, maybe I don't know, but you can even use the box itself
As
to
therapeutic.
therapeutic, pack it up and release it and let it go, right?
Yeah, you don't even need to like I love that. When we met, we talked about that and
No.
that's really good. I use that in the in my field as well. You can burn it. I know you have to put, disclaimers
Yeah.
in there, right? But you can also there's also a way that you can also actually keep it for a while and look
Mhm.
back if you keep your
Mhm.
journal in there and you can actually look
Mhm.
back and go, look how far I've come, right?
Exactly.
Because when you're in the midst of such pain or upset or roller coaster of feeling relief and then
Yep.
grief and then angry because that's divorce, right? Or
Right.
breakup. When you're journaling or when you're putting everything in there, it also comes back to, well, sometimes they don't feel like they've come very far, and then you actually look at your journal or the stuff that you put in there, and you're like, I can read this, I can heal, I can whatever, right? You can reflect back on how far you've come. So that's another thing I just wanted to add too, right? You can do that as well.
Absolutely. It's a whole process, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because especially in the beginning stages, we're going to be feeling such deep grief and loss,
Mm-hmm.
right? And as we go through and we process it all out, there are things that we gain through that
Mm-hmm.
as well. There are lessons learned and benefits that can be found, but that comes with time and that comes with
Mm-hmm.
processing and that comes with healing. So yeah, the journal gives you the space to get it all out. But I love that, like going back and reflecting
Mm-hmm.
on how
Mm-hmm.
far you've come because
Mm-hmm.
even a month later, the feelings that you were feeling in that deep grief in the beginning is not going to
Yeah.
be what you're experiencing a month later,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
that's a
just,
great point.
the story changes over time, right? So it's the same thing with divorce, but I really like that it, like the box encompasses everything. And I really also like that it uses everything, right? Like, as you said, like even the box you can use, right? So I think that's fantastic, right? Like, and so who do you find that, like, is it like sisters, mothers and dads, best friends, like, is it like
Yeah,
even brothers could buy it for sisters or for good friends, right? Like it's
absolutely.
for, so,
Absolutely. I feel like it's a great thing, especially if you don't know to say, because
mhm,
like maybe they even broke up with their toxic
mhm,
person and you're like, thank God they're done, right? Like
right.
you don't want to say that to them right at the beginning of a breakup, right? Because you're just not sure what to say
Mhm,
or how to convey that. It just gives you the opportunity to say, here's all the things that you need. And it's still a show of
mhm,
support and of being there without even needing to come up with the right words, right? Like it's just supportive. I did connect with a gentleman last week, and it was so funny because he was like, these are amazing, and I'm sending them both to my daughters because God knows they go through enough breakups, you know? And he had run out of
yeah.
things to say,
Well,
right? So
yeah.
like he's like, thank you. Now I've got something I can send them.
Yeah, that's hilarious though. And it's also a good point, right? Like dads can send it to daughters, or dads can send it to their sisters, right? Like their brothers, sisters, or even
Exactly.
their parents, like even their mom, right? Like you don't, yeah, I think it's great. And you know what's really neat is, as we said at the beginning of this, is that there's nothing really out there like that. So
There's
um
really isn't.
yeah, so I'm glad you're here, and you're trying to spread the word, because I think there are times when, as you said before, we're uncomfortable. We don't really know what to say.
Yeah.
Probably, in our field, we know more what to say, but even I get uncomfortable
Yeah.
sometimes, right?
Right. Right. Yeah. Because even a friend that you know well, because processing something like that is so dynamic.
Hmm.
It may be in this moment they're open and receptive to a sarcastic or funny comment, but an hour later they're not,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
moving target. And so, just providing all layers of support covers all of your bases and it kind of takes the pressure off. But you still have an opportunity to be able to say, I'm here, I've got you, right?
right. Which is the most important thing, because one of the things I've always had a problem is, or an issue with, is say when people say nothing, right?
Yeah,
And it is, it makes, it's all uncomfortable. Breakups and
absolutely.
divorces uh, are all, it is uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable for everybody, but you need to say something. So if you can't really feel, you can't
Yeah,
say the words, or you're having a hard time, sending them
yeah,
something like this is showing them
right.
that you are loved and cared for, and that's what they really need, right?
Yes, I completely agree. And that's true in so many situations in our life. When
Mm-hmm.
I was diagnosed with cancer
Mm-hmm.
4.5 years ago, I had friends that I'd been friends with, no joke, for 20 years
Mm-hmm.
that didn't reach out. And I was so hurt and I was so
Mm-hmm.
offended, but we were such good friends that I reached out and was like, girl, why? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard from you. Are you kidding me? And she said, I didn't want to bother you with what was going on in my life. And I wasn't sure what to say and I wasn't sure how to support you.
Mm-hmm.
And something is better than nothing. You
Mm-hmm.
hit the nail on the head. You've got to say something. You've got to
Mm-hmm.
communicate it however you choose to do it. The important thing is that you did do it.
Yeah,
You
and
hit the nail on the head.
yeah, and it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I'm a thanatologist.
Yeah.
I deal with tough stuff,
Yeah.
tough divorces, tough grief. It's
Right.
uncomfortable for me,
Absolutely.
and I've been doing this for quite a long time.
Right.
So
Yeah.
saying something
Yeah.
matters, even if like, as you said, like, wow, you're divorcing an ass, like a bad guy, or a bad
Right.
girl is bad, whatever. But you need to say, like, even if you're like, yes, you have to say, like, I'm here
Yeah.
for you. um
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
so it's important. So whereabouts do they, so where is it on Amazon that they
Yeah,
can order
it
these?
is. It is on Amazon exclusively, and it's available in the US, Canada, and Mexico. You can have it shipped to any of those locations. And one of the perks of having it available on Amazon, it is Prime eligible, so you can get it pretty quickly. You can ship it anywhere. You don't have to, worry about that. But also, Amazon does allow you to do a gift receipt where you can put a personalized message. So if you
Mm,
did have something you wanted to be able to say, you can include that in it just because Amazon has that capability. And then you can get it there with prime shipping, and have it go directly to the person that you need it to be, showing up on their doorstep. And you don't even need to tell them, right? Like it'll
mm,
be
mhm.
a surprise, and they will feel seen and heard and thought of and important. And there's no better feeling when you're going through something difficult than just feeling seen and thought of.
Yeah, I think these are wonderful. So I'm so glad you're doing this and
Yeah.
pioneering this, because as we said at the beginning, there's nothing out there like this. And I like that the box is a combination of things, right? It's not just sad stuff, it's not just humor, it's a mix of everything, because that's kind of what it is,
Right.
right?
Right. Exactly. The process is a mix of everything.
Yeah, it's a mix
So
of
having
everything.
the ability to be able to honor all of those and not feel bad about it, to recognize it as absolutely normal and a normal part of the process, also takes some of the stress and burden off for the person who's going through it too, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's okay for me to crack jokes about the fact that I'm going through it. Yeah, it is. Okay, that's a normal part of the process. Is it okay for me to feel that and then immediately feel the deep grief again right after that? Also, yes.
Also, yes.
Also normal.
That's why I'm glad I'm having you back on, because it's something that doesn't get talked about a lot, because divorce and separation is so serious, is humor. Like some form of like humor that you need to kind of get
Exactly.
try to get through this whole big mess, and it can feel very overwhelming. But I'm looking forward to having you back in October so we can talk about more about
Yeah,
that. So
I'm
is there
excited.
anything you want to like, do you have any things you want to talk, like, tell anybody about? I mean, the box is yes, but do you have any workshops or anything coming up you want to say to tell anybody?
I do have a masterclass. A free masterclass is coming up soon. It's through Pure Joy, this Instagram account that I'm on now. And if you want to have that invitation, it's for folks that are on my email list. So you can go to my link in my bio site, and sign up for the email list. And I'll send you an invitation to that. That is coming out soon. I may even do a series. I had 3 ideas, and I put a poll out there for that, and everybody was like, all of them. So
Mm-hmm. I know.
yeah, so we'll see if I do all of them, but that'll be coming up soon. And if you're interested in that, we could definitely have you on for that too.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. So I will see you tomorrow, because I am going on your live on LinkedIn tomorrow at 10:45
Yeah.
a.m. So
Yeah.
I look forward to chatting with you tomorrow. And also, does anyone have any questions for Amy before we wrap up? If you do, just put them in the comment. Otherwise, Amy, where's the best place they can get in touch with you about the Split Happens
Yep.
boxes, breakup boxes?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So Pure Joy, you have access to me through this Instagram account. Also, there is the Split Happens box Instagram. You can go there. If you go onto Amazon and you just search Split Happens Breakup Box, it'll pop right up for you. And I will be happy to share that link as well. If you guys want it, I can more than thank you, Alicia. It's so good to see you. I saw
Mm.
you pop in. I need to schedule a time to chat with you.
Super proud
I was just
of you.
talking
I
about
love that. I love that. Oh,
Alicia's
great.
amazing.
Yeah, that's great. I love hearing that. So great. So I'll see you tomorrow, and everybody have a great day.
Thank
Thanks,
you so
Amy.
much. Yeah, y'all take care.
Bye bye.
Bye.